Hi everyone, I'm Monique and today I have a new layout for Peartree Cutfiles using the super cute Woof You Cutfile. I've got this really cute photo of my kids and my little fur baby from a couple months ago, and it is just perfect to go with that title. And I recently got my hands on the lovely You Are My Sunshine collection by Bella Blvd, and I absolutely love it and I can't wait to create with it. Now it's time to add some colour to that cut file. So you can see the centerpieces of my cut file there on my cutting mat on the left, and I'm just using the letters to draw around. I'm using a combination of the letters and the actual cut file, which you can see there now, so as templates and stencils. And the reason I'm using a combination of both is the letters give a true line for me to cut on. So by drawing around the letters, it's slightly bigger than the space in the center of the cut file, so it'll slightly overlap the outline, which is great. But the reason I'm using the actual cut file as a stencil to do the paw prints is there's so many little pieces in those paw prints, and I really want the pattern on the reverse of that pattern paper to be all in line when I place all those little letters in place. So by using the cut file as a stencil, it allows me to get everything in the right place, so that as you can see there, all those little hearts are going in the right direction and there's nothing kind of facing in the wrong direction. So now I am just distressing all those edges just very gently, just to add a little bit of texture, and I'm going to be raising these up so that they stand up from the cut file rather than using them to back the cut file. Now I'm using this lovely black and white polka dotty pattern paper for my background. I was a little bit sad because the reverse of it are the most gorgeous colourful butterflies, which I had intended to fussy cut. So I'm going to need to buy another sheet of that. But what I'm using now is some thin strips of double-sided foam tape, which I'm just using to stick along that outline. Now, when you can see there, some of it is sticking out in the center of the cut file, but that's totally okay because my pink letter pieces are going to fill the centers and you're not going to see that. So when I was sticking that foam tape on the outline, I made sure that it was lined up perfectly with the outside edges, so that if there was any of it exposed, that it was going to be where I was going to add those pink letters so that it would be hidden. Now those pink letters, I'm adding a double layer of foam tape so that it's raised above the outline of the cut file. So there you can see that dimension, and now I'm just deciding where I want my photo to go. And I'm going to be using lots of the different sheets of pattern paper and creating a little stack of paper layers behind it, just to bring in lots of pops of color to really contrast with that black background. Now I'm not being too specific with straight lines and sizing here. I'm just kind of cutting them out. So the white hexagonal pattern paper there is just slightly bigger than the photo, and then the other two pieces of pattern paper are a little bit bigger than that white piece, but they're the same size as each other, the blue and yellow one there. And then I'm just kind of offsetting them from each other. And this rainbow stripe is the biggest layer. So you can see there, I'm not being too worried about being specific or overly neat, because I am distressing the edges, so that will hide any slightly skew lines or any imperfections. Now let's get these all stuck down. So I'm just placing my stack together with each layer slightly offset, and then just adding some adhesive to the back and sticking it down. Now you'll see in a moment I pull it up because I'm not quite happy with my offset sticking, but that's okay, because you can just pull it up and it doesn't matter if you rip the paper where something's going to be stuck over it, because you're not going to see it. So just pull away and stick down until you're happy, and I finally get there. So I'm happy now, everything's offset how I'd like. Obviously I've stuck down the cut file and I want it to go underneath, but I managed to pull that all up without a problem, and get it all stuck down, and there is the foundation of my layout. And now it is time to get embellishing. Now, this layout is quite different to my usual style. Usually I start off with mixed media, and I usually always have an element of mixed media in my layouts. However, this layout is very much centered around that photo and using lots and lots of pretty paper and all the different elements from this gorgeous collection. sticker sheet from the You Are My Sunshine collection, and it's got this lovely white alpha set which I've used just to extend my title, and it's also got these lovely scalloped sticker edges which I'm just going to use on the side. Now I want them to overlap each other, but there's a little gap where you can see the black spotty paper in the background, so I'm just using a strip of this patterned paper and I'm just making a little bit smaller, and that's just going to tuck between those two layers and add a little bit of extra color and just to break up those two scallops. So I'm just sticking those down, and you'll see I put that colourful sticker edge down, and then I decide that I want it to be raised up. So in a moment I'm going to lift it up and add some double-sided foam tape to the back, just to give it some extra dimension and to really define those layers. So there, the foam tape's going on just to give it a little bit of height and dimension. Now, if you like this title piece that I'm using and you would love to see the other cut files that Peartree Cutfiles have available in their new release this month, do pop along to their website and their Facebook group. I've got everything linked up for you below, as well as all the supplies that I've used. So now I'm just having a little look through all the ephemera pieces that I've got for this collection and just kind of dotting them about. I love those little buzzy bees. They are so cute, and I'm just tucking in a little tag, and I've used that pink heart pattern paper just to punch out a little tab, just to bring some of that pink down to the side of that photo as well. And I'm just really going through all the embellishments. The embellishment pack is really extensive. There's loads in there. There's butterflies, there's flowers, there's dragonflies, there's hot air balloons, rainbows, so many lovely word pieces. You're spoilt for choice with it. It's really lovely. So I'm just really layering all the embellishments together, having them tucked in between those different layers of pattern paper, and I just keep going until I'm happy with how it looks. I've started a little cluster of embellishments in the top left hand corner with that sunshine and buzzy bee, and obviously got a more extensive cluster along the bottom left hand side. And I will go on to create a little mini cluster where that buzzy bee is in the middle of the page by the word you, and that just creates a lovely horizontal going from the top left of the page down to the right, and it's a good line for the eye to focus on, and kind of takes you from the title at the top all the way down to the photo in the bottom right hand corner. Now I'm coming in with these lovely enamel shape stickers. They are so cute and they just match the collection perfectly, and I just love the little bit of shine that they add, and I'm just dotting those about where I feel they work and look nice with the rest of the embellishments. There I've just added a few extra little flowers to that cluster at the top, and I'm really liking how this is all coming together.
May you always find your way to higher ground. May you always keep your head held up high. Pretty little thing.
Now I want to add a little bit of shimmer to those buzzy bees, so I'm using some Nuvo glimmer paste in the colour Moonstone, and just using my finger to dab on a little bit of iridescent shimmer onto those little wings. Once that's dry, I'm going to use some glossy accents to go over those shimmery wings, and it just almost gives like this glossy coating, almost like an enamel sticker really, just to make those shimmery wings just shine with an extra bit of gloss. So stay tuned to see that.
Shining from within, I can tell that you're tough.
So I'm just using the glossy accents just to create quite a thick layer over that lovely iridescent glitter, and I really do love how this works. So it's a great way to add an extra touch to your embellishments. So now I've distressed the edges of those tags, and I'm going to be distressing all the edges of all the embellishments, but first I just want to tie a little bow around this tag, and I've got this lovely cotton yarn which is the perfect shade of yellow, and it's just the perfect little accent for that tag. So I'm going to start distressing the edges of all the embellishments and getting them stuck down. I use a combination of my tape runner and some foam tape, but for most of those little flowers and bees I'm going to be using my silicone glue so that I can tilt them into the layers and have them really popping out of the edges, so that there's lots of dimension, which you're going to be seeing in just a moment. Thank you so much for stopping by today and joining me as I create this layout. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd be so grateful if you subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram at Handmade Happy by Monique. If you have any questions, please drop me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. I really can't tell you how grateful I am for your support and for all the lovely feedback that I get from so many of you on all my videos. Thank you so very much. I'm going to leave you for just a moment while I finish sticking down all these bits and pieces, but I'll be back shortly with all the details on the finishing touches.
When I'm at my weakest point, makes a world of difference, so you make me strong. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're tough. Ordering a cup of love, feel it rising up and above. You will always keep my heart and soul strong. Plant your seeds and watch them grow. The light will always know where to go.
Now I'm bringing out all my little tubs of Peartree Pieces. I've got all these gorgeous little hearts that I've purchased from Peartree Cutfiles, and they come in an array of colours, and some are sparkly, some are just felt, regular felt, and there's a colour for every layout. So I am just trying out a few different colours in the 3 little embellishment clusters there, just to see which ones work best. And then I'm coming back in with some more ephemera. I'm just going through and seeing what else I can add, because I feel like I need to add a little bit more. So I found that little blue stripy heart, which I think is going to be perfect in that central cluster. Just tracing the edges before I get it stuck down. I'm using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive just to stick down all of those little felt and sparkly Peartree piece hearts, and I really love this adhesive. The thing I probably love the most about it is that the nozzle never gets clogged, and it sticks beautifully. So I also use it on the back of most of my sticker embellishments, just to ensure that they stand the test of time. Now I've brought out some little jewels just to dot around. I start off by using a whole bunch of different colors, but then I take off all the different colors and focus on just using yellow, because there's already a lot of color going on, and I'm just adding a little bit too much extra visual stimulation by adding all the different colors to the gems as well. So by just using yellow, they're able to add a little bit of sparkle, but without drawing too much focus away from the photo and all the pretty embellishments around it. So as you can see, I'm not adding too many, just a few here and there around those embellishment clusters. And now I've got a little bottle of iridescent stickles glitter glue, which I'm just adding to the center of some of those flowers, just for a little bit of extra shimmer, and it echoes the wings of the bees quite nicely as well. While it's a different glitter product, the iridescent shine is quite similar, and it adds lovely sparkle. So now I've just got some acrylic paint, which I've diluted with some water, and I'm adding a little bit of white paint splatters down that horizontal to finish off my layout. And that is my layout complete, and here are some close-ups for you. I've linked up that lovely cut file and those Peartree pieces for you, as well as all of the products that I've used today. So if anything is taking your fancy, you'll find all the details in the description box below. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
You're the first thing in the morning and the last. Baby, you're my future and you are my past.